Hey everyone, and welcome back to Empanada Sessions. Today we're going to be covering another deck from the the new Dragon Ball Super TCG. This time we have Blue Super Saiyan God Son Goku. Honestly, this is probably my favorite deck from the new game. I think it has the potential to be the strongest meta deck, and it will probably dominate most high-level play tournaments. The reason I think so is the amount of energy acceleration and the way that you get to reuse resources. It's just unfair. Like, it seems so broken. Um, it does require a little bit of skill to pilot. Like, you need to sequence very properly. You need to know in what order to make your plays to play the most effectively. But you use 2 or 3 turns at most to set up with this deck, and you can come back so hard even if you go down to like 3 prize cards. I've taken 5 prize cards in 1 turn with this deck, and that was like my second time playing it. All right, without further ado, let's get into it. We're gonna this is very much so a turbo deck, so we run a lot of 4-ofs. Starting off, we run 4 Sensu Bean. Now, there's lots of cards in this deck that I'm gonna call broken, but this is absolutely the most busted card in the entire Dragon Ball TCG. Get a good look. You're gonna start to hate this card. Now what this does, it's more effective in the early game, but late game you can get value out of it too. Read that. Choose up to one of your cards. It gains 5,000 power. So it's 1 energy cost, you gain 5,000 power. And you get to reuse 2 energy. You switch 2 used energy into active mode. If you're familiar with the way this game plays, you'll understand how absolutely monumental that is. This will allow you to make double the amount of plays that your opponent's making every turn. If you can get these off, it's so strong. So freaking strong. Like, wow. The whole energy reusal and reusing resources, that's a strong theme in this deck, and because of that, you do have to know how to use your energy effectively and when to use them effectively. Um, Continuing on, another extra card we run is 4 Whis' Coercion. Whis' Coercion is a counterattack. 1 energy, you negate an attack, and choose 1 of your energy and switch it to active. So all you need is for 1 energy to be active, and you get to use this card for free. So why that's important is you want to save that 1 energy potentially to combo with a strong card to get that 1 energy 10,000 combo sometimes. And having that option available, especially in this deck, which, let's be honest, like, there are a lot of free combo pieces in here, so having that extra 1 for 10,000 combo defensively, because you're using all your combo pieces on defense, having Whis' Coercion plus a 1 for 10,000 pretty much guarantees you're going to survive the turn. Next up, another 4. We run 4 energy boosted Majin Buu. Really easy ability to remember. When you play this card, draw a card. He replaces himself in your hand. It's 1 energy cost. What's really cool about this, actually, let's go into the next card and then I'll address that. The next card is Bulma, God Tempter. Now, they're like, oh, 1,000 attack, 1 energy cost, free combo. Why are you running this? Well, this is one of the few cards in the game that guarantees a search. You want to focus? No. Alright, when you play this card, you get to search for 1 Whis with an energy cost of 4 or less from your deck and add it to your hand. So the Whis that we're going to be searching for is this guy, the Resting Attendant. And you could play 4 of him. I chose 3 because if you're playing 4 Bulma to get to him, you don't need the full 4. You only really need to get out 1 or 2 of these to get full value. But what he does is when he comes into play, he's a 4 cost 10,000, which isn't the best. But when he comes into play, you add 1 card to your energy from the top of your deck. So you get an extra energy to work with on top of using reusing your energies every turn. It's unreal. This deck has so much speed and acceleration in it. It's so strong. Next up, we run 4 Objection, another acceleration card for 2 energy. You choose a card from your hand and play it as energy. So you get an extra energy down. Now, this card is kind of a wolf in sheep's clothing because while it seems very strong, you're paying 2 energy and you're sacrificing 2 cards out of your hand, this card plus the card you're using as energy, in order to get it off. Now, that's not the worst thing in the world, and you do get that extra energy, but using it at the wrong time and using it carelessly could get you into a bit of trouble. So, Objection, very strong, but could be tricky. Next up, we run 3 Ultimate Judgment Jocko. Now, this Jocko, I was playing against my buddy the other day and completely caught him off guard. It's one of the better cards in the game for sure. What its ability does is when you combo with it, you get to bounce one of your opponent's cards from the combo area. You return it to their hand. So, if you're not familiar with the way the game plays, say somebody's attacking with a Whis, and then they want to combo twice. So they're comboing for 10,000. So Whis is now at 20,000. And if they're attacking a Jocko with only 16,000, Jocko's probably dead. Or here, let's put one more. So 25,000 Whis. Now, to get this Jocko to beat this Whis, all we need is one of these guys. Because the combo adds 5,000, so he goes up to 21, plus you're removing one of these. So he goes down to 20. So you can be really sneaky. This is one of the more skillful cards in the game in terms of you need to know when to play it at the best time. But you can be really sneaky and win some really big battles with this card. It's very strong and definitely recommended to run at least 3 of those guys. Up next, we're going to get into our attackers. This deck runs a lot of attackers because there's a lot of energy to be used and you don't want to be sacrificing your engine cards as energy. So sometimes it's okay to get rid of like your evolutions in order to maintain, like, you don't want to get rid of this Boo rather than one of your big guys that you can't get out for 5 turns as energy. So like basic stuff that comes with playing the game, but it's really important in this deck especially. So next up is this Kind Saiyan Son Goku. This Goku has an ability that's common to most decks in the game. When you play him, you search the top 7 and you can get a Son Goku from those top 7 and add it to your hand. Doesn't want to focus. Alright. He's 1 cost 5,000, so very standard. 0 cost 5,000 combo. As standard as it comes, but he's in here at 4 because we're actually running some evolutions for him. The first of which is Rapid Spirit Ball Son Goku. And this guy is super powerful. Now, to get him out, you only need to pay either 3 energy or 2 energy and evolve onto the Goku, which means you just place him on top. Having a 15,000 card out for 2 energy is very strong. Not to mention when he comes out, he has the ability that you reuse one of your energy. So he fits in perfectly with the playstyle of the deck. He's a great attacker to have on board, and in the mid game, like when you're around 3 to 4 energy total on your side of the board, he could be the strongest card on the field in a lot of situations. Next up, we're running Super Saiyan 3 Son Goku. This guy, 5 cost, 4 with the evolve, double strike, so he's doing double damage to your opponent's leader. And when you evolve into him, he gains dual attack. So it's only for a turn, I believe. Oh no, it's actually a permanent auto, if you evolve into him, he will be able to attack twice. So that's not just double damage, that's attacking twice plus double damage. So we're running one of him because it's not going to come up often, but when it does, he's very, very strong. Finally, this guy. Look at that beautiful guy. Oh yeah. Godbreak Son Goku. We're running two of him because, let's be real, he looks great, but you're only going to get him out once every few games. He's 30,000, 7 cost, 6 with the evolve. He has double strike, and his permanent ability says your opponent cannot activate counters and cannot activate blockers when this card attacks. So he's a guaranteed double strike attack. And with a lot of decks running a lot of blockers and counters and playing defensively, having something that can bypass those is in your deck is really strong. You can't have a Goku without a Vegeta, so here's our Vegetas. We run 4 of the standard Vegeta, 3 cost 20,000. So usually 3 cost cards will be at 15,000 like this Goku. This Vegeta actually breaks that rule and hits 20,000, which you're winning most matchups without a combo. No ability, his strength makes up for the lack of ability, so he's important at 4 because we run God Charge Vegeta and Super Saiyan Vegeta, or rather Vegeta Prince of Speed. We'll look at God Charge first. He's a 6 cost with 5 for the evolve, and he has dual attack with critical. So I just went over dual attack. Critical means when you attack with him on your opponent's leader card, any damage he does goes straight into their discard pile. They don't get the cards to their hand. And his automatic ability, he has another ability. It's not just that. When a card evolves into this card, you get to choose one of your opponent's blockers and actually return it to their hand. So any energy they wasted putting that blocker down, you just made sure it was for nothing. And Vegeta, Prince of Speed, it's 5, so it's a little cheaper to get out. It's 4 for the evolve. It has double strike. No dual attack on this one, unfortunately. But when you play this card, if you have 5 or more energy, you actually get to draw 2 cards. So if you're in a situation where maybe you're playing against a Brawly deck where they control hand size, or you're just struggling maintaining resources late game, you can replenish your hand size and make things a little easier on you. So that's our main engine. Outside of that, we're running a few other attackers, and these guys are kind of special. First up, we got this guy, One Hit Destruction Vegeta. This Vegeta, he's the guy from one of the promo boxes. He's actually not available in the standard sets, so if you're looking for him, you got to get him in the $15 promo box. He has triple strike. He's a 6 cost, and he doesn't evolve from Vegeta, so keep that in mind. Triple strike does 3 damage instead of 1, and his permanent ability says if you have 7 or more energy, you can evolve him for free. So yeah, he usually doesn't have evolve, but if it's late game and you have those 7 energy on board, you don't have to pay anything. You just put that guy right there, and he's good to go. So these two, along with these two and these two, your Vegeta lines are looking mighty nice. We run 1 energy boost Beerus. He's a great guy for destruction. Now, this deck doesn't really revolve around many destruction cards, so we're only running 1 of him. Lots of decks will run more copies just because he's a very good card. He's a 4 cost attacker with double strike, 20,000, and when you play him, if you have 5 or more energy, you get to KO one of your opponent's battle cards. So no cost, you just KO their battle card. Um, that speaks for itself. I mean, getting rid of a problematic battle card, it's huge, and it doesn't discriminate cost. So if you're playing against the mirror match, for example, if one of these are out, you just bring this guy out for 4 energy and pop him for free. He's done. He's done. Don't worry about that guy. He's done. So yeah, that Beerus is good for just removal. But the main part of this deck and our win condition, I mean, we're playing the gods. This Beerus. So, oh, I didn't even go over this guy yet. We'll go over this guy in a second. This Beerus, he's the, I mean, I said the Senzu Bean is the strongest card, but he's an auto win. It's not gonna happen very often. When you do pull it off, your opponent's gonna hate you, but this card is going to single-handedly win games. When you get to that 7 energy, if you have this card in your hand, you might as well tell your opponent, unless you're winning this turn, it's GG. Let me read you what he does. 7 energy, triple strike. This card inflicts 3 damage instead of 1. His automatic ability is that when you attack with him, your opponent either discards 2 cards, or all of their battle cards and all of their energy gone. Done for. He just wipes their entire field. So your end game in this deck, if you're not just wiping them out with your strong selection of gods and Saiyans, is to get this guy out. And the energy acceleration helps you get there, and your leader card helps you get there. The leader says when you attack, you choose up to 1 of your blue energy and switch it to active mode. So you reuse 1 of your blue energy. It's a little tricky to use because you need to know how to sequence your turn, how to structure the sequence of events so that you get to use 1 energy for, or say you have 2 energy out. You use the 2 energy to get out or to use an objection or something. Then you're going to want to attack with him early in the turn so that you can reuse that energy and maybe get a Son Goku on board or get something else on board and continue with your turn. So more often than not, you're going to find yourself attacking early with your leader and then later on with your battle cards. That's a key part of the playstyle. When you evolve, it's a similar thing, but you reuse 2 energy. So you see a lot of energy acceleration in the form of Whis and objection. You see a lot of very good combo potential in Jocko, Bulma, and Majin Buu, and you see a lot of energy reusal in Senzu Bean and the leader card and this Goku. Like, you have ways to outpace your opponent. This is a speed-oriented deck. This is very much a turbo deck. The last thing to go over, well, one of the last things, is the permanent ability that this God card has, or the awakened form rather, is if you have 5 or more energy, this card gains 5,000 power. So it's rare that a leader card will do that, but he actually goes to 20,000. Which, without having the combo, you're already beating your opponent's leader card, even awakened. Couple final thoughts on the deck. One of the things I've found really cool about this is the ability to go for game in a single turn. I was playing a game the other night, actually, and my opponent had 5 prizes left, and I kept him at 5 prizes to make sure he couldn't awaken. And I had 2 Boos, 2 Bulmas, 1 of these Gokus, and 1 of these Gokus, along with another card similar to this Beerus that actually replaced the Beerus. I got attacks off with this and this, comboed all 4 of these onto this for free because you can actually combo with the cards in your battle area, and then attacked with my leader, and I took 5 prizes. in a single turn to take the game. So leaving these cards out in active mode, the Boo and the Bulma can be huge late game. You do need to watch out for decks like Red that will that focus on destruction and will pop your cards. But other than that, I think that Blue is the strongest deck in the Dragon Ball Super TCG. And if you're thinking about building it, do not hesitate any longer. This game's super fun, and this deck is probably the best. Thanks for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, leave us a like, a follow. Find us on Facebook. Find us everywhere. empanadasessions.com. Catch y'all later.